Hello, folks, and welcome to the Counting Sheep podcast. This is episode 53, and my name is Ruth, and I am in charge of the shenanigans that you're about to witness. I come to you every two weeks or so, and bring you all sorts of fibery goodness from crocheting to knitting to spinning, and also any kind of fiber events or shenanigans that I get up to in and around my small sheep farm in Vermont, where I live with my husband, my 4 sheep, some chickens, and we have an elderly dog and an elderly cat. So yeah, welcome. If you are a first-time viewer, I welcome you. I hope you find something that you like here, and if you do, please let me know. And all you returning people, thank you so much for coming back and viewing what I have. Today I have a boatload of crochet, I have a wee bit of knitting, and I have some spinning to show you, and maybe if I don't run over, I will show you some acquisitions that I came across these past few days since the last time I was here. I will start off with a weather report. And it is a beautiful day in Vermont today. It's in the 70s, no humidity, beautiful sunshiny day. This is the kind of weather that I live for. It's just very nice and comfortable. So thankful for that. So I'm going to dive right into crochet. If you've been with me for a while, you know about this first project that I'm about to show you. This is a design by Linda Skuja of 11 Handmade. That I believe is her business name. I'm not sure if she really uses that a lot, but I know that's her Instagram name. And she works in partnership at times with Nomad Stitches, and Nomad Stitches has a kind of subscription website, and I think it's like $7 or $8 a month. And you get a pattern for that every month if you would like. And so Nomad Stitches is also Sandra Gutierrez, same entity. And her subscription website is plyful.com. And this was the March 2025 design. And so I think what Linda and Sandra do, and Sandra does this with all of her designers, is contracts the design for a year, and then at the end of the year it reverts back to the designer. I think that's how it works. And so this one will be available to general consumption, I believe, March of 2026. But if you join Plyful, you can buy it there on that site. Anyway, this is the Everleaf cardigan, and this is a very kimono style type of cardigan. Linda Skuja is known for her texture in her designs, and so that's her design right there. And I am happy to report that I have made progress on this on the second side. I've gone past the middle, and I'm well into the second side now. Let me see if I can find where I'm at here. Yeah, the end of my yarn is right here. And so there's this split that you make for the neck hole. And I believe, let me see if I can put this on kind of over the head, and I'll stand up and kind of fiddle with it. But yeah, so the front of it is higher than the back, so you can see there's a lot more length in the back here. But it's a beautiful pattern. It's named Everleaf for a good reason. She has these lovely leaf patterns interspersed with a lace, your requisite holes for the lace, and also these nice ridges as well. So this does get sleeves as well. I'm going to kind of gauge where I'm at the end. I have, let's see, I started another row of leaves. So here's the start of another row of leaves. I have that pattern repeat to do, as well as these rows after it, and then another row of leaves until this side is done. But yeah, this is going to make a nice cozy fall cardigan to wear with kind of a shawl pin in it. And yeah, so I have a wedding to go to, so I'm looking forward to having this as kind of a cover piece. And so a beautiful pattern. And yeah, I'm so glad I've made progress with it because it was kind of languishing for a little bit. And I'm going to block it before I seam it, simply because the raw edges are kind of a little wavy, but I really do believe that's going to block out really nicely. This yarn is an acrylic cotton mix, and it is by Scheepjes. This is their Stonewashed DK. There's the label. And this colorway is Jasper color 809. Yeah, and it is a DK. Oh, no, actually, it's a sport weight. Excuse me, I misspoke. It's 78% cotton, 22% acrylic. Yeah, so really enjoying that. Glad I got back to it. Yeah, I've shown some love there with this one. Very, very nice pattern, as all of Linda Skuja's are. I like her kind of texture vibe. All right, so that was project number 1, or whip number 1. Whip number 2 are some crochet socks, and I believe I showed them the last time. I made a little bit of progress on them. I have them in my nice, like, apropos chicken bag. So these are another pattern that I got from Vicki Brown Designs. She is a UK designer, and she also has a business of dyeing yarn. And this is her Sakura Socks. And this is her Crochet Accessories Club. So I think every 2 months she sends out a skein of yarn and one of her own patterns that she designed herself. She's quite talented. She designs for knitting as well as crocheting. This is her hand-dyed Sakura colorway yarn in her sock weight yarn. What do I say? Her base, rather, I want to say. All right, and I make, just like I do with knitting, I try to make the socks at the same time so that they kind of look alike and they fit alike. So you'll see on this one that I stopped, and then I did not go over to the second sock to complete the section yet. But I have the upper cuff and leg done on both, but I have started kind of the heel turn and gusset on the second one. So you can kind of get an idea of what I'm doing here. So that's it. That's it looking on sideways. And then you can kind of get a look and gander of the heel turn here. Very nice pattern, beautiful yarn. I'm very much enjoying it. I did have to go up a size, which is fine. It's great because you can try these on as you go. And when I made the initial cuff the first time around, I tried it on and it was kind of hard to get it over my instep. So I went up a size. So I think right now I'm making the large pattern here, which is fine. I'm using, let's see, this is a 3 millimeter hook for this. So smallish hook. I think this is around, they call it a D, C or D, depending on what country you're in. So yeah, I just want to show you some of that lovely design in the leg there. So very pretty. I've made her designs before and they do not disappoint. So yeah, it's fun crochet up socks. They go a lot quicker than knitting socks for me, so that's good. So that's the Sakura Socks. And then I wanted to show you a new pattern that I casted on, or I started rather. My friend Tammy sends me texts every so now and then, and she sent me over a heads up on this pattern, and she said, oh, it's free, and I checked it this morning to see if it still was free, because it's being advertised as free until August 15th. However, I was on Ravelry this morning and it is still free. So if you run over real quick, you might be able to get it for free. This is called the Octodot Cowl, and it is by Veronica Ori. And if you can do granny stitch, you can do this cowl. This is done in, well, let's just say you can pretty much pick your colors for this. But it will, like if you go with her idea, it'll take two, one skein of fingering weight yarn, a colorful one, and then the in-between stitches you can do whatever you want. I elected to use this lovely skein of yarn, which is also by Vicki Brown Designs. This is from her Make 100 Skeins crowdfunding project that she runs every spring. She challenges herself to hand dye 100 different colorways. God bless her. And for the cost of a skein of hand dyed yarn, you get a beautiful skein of color from her. So this is called just her sock base. She didn't give it a name, but it is beautiful. It's got greens and yellows in it, and also a little bit of blue and some pops of pink. But in this Octodot cowl, I used black in between, and it kind of gives it a stained glass look, I think. And it really makes the yarn shine. It really is quite beautiful. She says you could probably use any weight of yarn in the pattern, as long as you adjust the stitch count, and she'll tell you what the stitch count, the repeat is for this particular cowl. But she has you try it on after the first row just to make sure it goes over your head, of course. But yeah, I'm kind of stoked about that. It's a really cool way to use this yarn. When Vicki, before Vicki sends you the color, she asks you if you have any preferences, and I said, no, just surprise me. So that's what I got, and I love it. It's something that I wouldn't normally pick out of a stall somewhere or from a yarn shop, but I just adore it. So yeah. So if you have one of those special skeins at home that you've been sitting on for a while, this is a super great project for that. And oh yeah, I forgot to tell you that the black yarn, obviously you can probably get fingering weight black yarn wherever you want, but this particular one is from the Unique Sheep, and she is in Florida, and she is also a wonderful dyer down there. All right, so that is the Octodot Cowl by Veronica Ori. And like I said, if you hurry, you might still get that pattern for free on Ravelry. I wanted to show you a finished object. I do some crocheting for the Woolly Thistle that I work for the Woolly Thistle. And they got a new yarn in called Tukuwool Cashmere Silk. It's a 4-ply yarn, very nice. It's actually a recycled cashmere, 70% and 30% silk. And I elected to do these mitts. They're called the Hygge mitts, and they are from the Let's Crochet Lina magazine that I'm always going on about here on my channel. In case you don't know what it looks like, here it is. In the pattern itself, they use Bijay and Bouche Le Petit yarn, which is a fingering weight yarn, paired with their silk mohair blend in 3 different colors. Actually 4, I believe. The main color is not paired with mohair, but the here's a picture of those Hygge mitts. I elected not to pair mine with the silk and mohair because the cashmere already has silk in it, and I'm not a big fan of mohair, I gotta tell you. Sometimes it gets up my nose and causes some irritation there, so I'd rather not. So this is what I chose to do. So the colors that I picked for this is the charcoal gray, and that's this one. The main color is Bordeaux, and that's this color. And then the other 2 grays are winter, let me see, no, this is winter, is it winter gray they call it? Winter gray. That's winter gray. And then this one is the medium gray. And it's a lovely project. It works up very quickly because you've got kind of this granny theme going on here, and then there's solid stitching here to keep your inner and forearm warm. And there's a very simple slit in the side for a thumb hole, you know, it's got a very generous thumb hole, so you don't feel restricted at all. So yeah, these worked up in no time, and they're very comfortable, and I highly recommend both the yarn and, of course, the pattern, which is in Let's Crochet. So yeah, so in case you want another pair or you want to gift somebody, this is a quick gift for, like, you know, the holidays coming up. And then finally, this is a very crochet heavy episode, but last time I showed you another project that I'm doing for the Woolly Thistle, and it's called the Springtime Blanket. And let me just grab the picture so I can remind you what it looks like. So that is the blanket there. And it's done in small pieces, which is lovely for the summer, so you don't really have anything heavy laying in your lap at any given time. They're all flowers. I think the last time I showed you that I did do the daffodils, that was the first one I did. So that's the daffodils there. I did the tulips, and that's this long one. And I did the violets, I believe this is. And then these are the bluebells. And then this current one that I just completed were the pansies. Yeah, so now it's like I have 5 of them done now. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 10 altogether, so I'm kind of halfway through. I'm at the halfway mark. There is one in here that deviates from kind of the norm, which I kind of like. It makes the blanket kind of unique, its shape and whatnot. But otherwise, we're going to be making another one of these, another one of these, another one of these, and another one of these. And then there is just half of one, you know, it's just this part, you know, instead of the whole thing for the final square. But yeah, these work up incredibly fast. I find doing piecework like this kind of soothing during the summer, especially when it's so warm and muggy out. And this type of yarn is a delight to work with because it's mostly lyocell, which is a plant fiber, and then there's a bit of there's a bit of wool in here. This is, I think I said it before, 60% lyocell and 40% Falkland Islands wool. It's got a beautiful sheen to it, and it's great in the hand. I'm really loving working with it, and it's a nice project. So I'm just going to keep probably working at it here and there, you know, in between other projects, so that I can have a nice blanket to toss on the back of my couch, and it'll make a nice cover up for you know, the warmer months when it gets a little cool at night. All right, so springtime blanket. I think the Woolly Thistle still has some kits left if you're interested. So yeah, so that'll be it for crochet. I'm moving along into knitting. Well, when last we spoke, I was showing you a very simple project that I'm working on. I'm trying to find it right now. It is, I was looking, I guess I was trolling or whatever, not trolling, I don't troll, but I was looking at websites and Facebook, and a lot of stuff comes my way because I subscribe to a lot of stuff, but somebody was looking for a very simple pattern to take on an airplane, and I kind of honed right into it. And it's a free pattern, and who doesn't like free, right? This is a pattern put out by Espace Tricot. The designer is Melissa Clulow, and it's the Sunday morning shawl. And what strikes me really, I mean, I like texture a lot. What strikes me about this is it's very simple, but you do have to count, so that keeps you engaged. And I also came across some of my old, I'm not going to say old, from one of my sheep who's no longer with us. She was one of my first sheep. Her name was Maple. She was a mostly Shetland, but she had some Romney in her, and I think that's why this is so lustrous. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but yeah, this is a DK weight yarn. And when I came across it, I was like going through a whole bunch of stuff before I went up to Madame at camp, because I wanted to bring some things there to sell. And I came across this yarn, and I just fell in love with it again. And really, I needed a pattern that was just going to make the yarn shine. You know, I wanted the yarn to stand out. I didn't want anything really complicated. So this pattern really fills the bill. I did manage to get a few more sections done here. So these are just some basic stockinette sections with increasing. And then interspersed is like a raised rib section. So as you can see, I did add, I think I was up to, I want to say about here or so the last time we spoke. And so this is kind of like the springtime blanket. It's nice to pick it up and add a row or two and then put it back down without it making you too hot over the summer months. So yeah, so really enjoying doing this pattern, and highly recommend if you just want something that's really rhythmic and simple, and you have a really lovely yarn to highlight and show off. All right, and moving on, I just in future makes, I know if you've been with me for a while, you've seen me cast on, well, not cast on, but do the gauge swatch for the Brookdale vest. This is a pattern by Elizabeth Smith Designs, Knits, and this is the swatch that I did for the Brookdale vest. And this yarn is from Briggs & Little. I got 2 big holes here where I stuck my needle through. But yeah, this has been washed and blocked. And this is on a number 7. Excuse me, my nose is running today. So Briggs & Little Heritage. And this colorway is the mauve colorway. And this is a pretty heavy worsted weight yarn. So, I'm not surprised I had to go down a needle size. The vest calls for, I believe, a size 8. And I went down to a size 9. Yeah. Oh, no, I went... You don't go down to a size 9 from an 8. I went down to a size 7, and I was able to get gauge. And I like the fabric. I think what's most important about your gauge swatch is that you like the fabric, and the drape is good for you as well. So that's good. Yeah, so perfect there. This is, I was telling somebody the other day, this is the longest I've ever sat on a gauge swatch, you know, and by sitting on it, I mean, I did it, and normally once I get gauge, I'm like, let's cast on, you know, but I think because I wanted to make the other vest that I made earlier in the summer so much more than this one, but fall is coming, people, I can feel it in the air, and so I am going to cast this on shortly. It'll be fun. It'll be a fun knit. My friend Tammy made it, and she enjoyed it very much. And the vest looks wonderful on her. And so I am ready to own one myself. So, so yeah, I got all that prepared there, and that is going to be probably next time you'll see something started on that. So, okay, do I have anything else I wanted to show you in knitting? I think that's it. Very short on knitting today. But I was at a 3-day spinning course with Donna Kay over at Harrisville Designs, which is in Harrisville, New Hampshire. And if you haven't been, I highly recommend taking a course with them. And if that's not your jam, it's just a nice place to visit. Great yarns, great staff, beautiful little village in the middle of New Hampshire, southern New Hampshire. Yeah, it's worth a trip just out there. But what we did was we spent 3 days spinning a lot of different yarn, or a lot of different rovings, I should say. And I just want to share a few with you. And you learn a lot no matter what, you know, like even if you think you know how to spin, there are things that you can always gather from another source. Donna Kay has finished her master's in spinning, which is a very comprehensive course, given, I think there's only 2 existing. And the one she went to is in Canada, in Ontario, actually. But yeah, so we started off spinning some Romney. She gave us some of these luggage tags to put our samples on, which I think is a great idea. They come with their own strings, and, you know, depending on how you store them for future reference. Yeah, so we started, I believe, on Romney. We did white, and then we did colored Romney, and then we did some Dorset, which I fell in love with. Dorset is better known as a meat sheep, but has a lovely, very spongy type of roving fleece, and yeah, I really enjoyed spinning that, and I may have purchased some more. May have. So the next one we did was 50% fin and 50% alpaca. This stuff was like butter, and I put my little sample here, just kind of roped it onto the luggage tag there. This is probably Romney here. I have bits and pieces all over the place. One of the exercises we did was just to spin a single and then rough finish it with steam. And it came out beautiful. This is a Corriedale, and it has some silk in it as well. So what I did was a really large whorl on my spinning wheel, and I did a very slow treadle on it. And then we steamed them, and it's just beautiful the way it came out. Would love to use that as a highlight in some project. We did some merino. We did, this one is white and dyed Romney together. So kind of a marled rag wool effect. And this was Shetland and Tussah silk. But, you know, some of the, what really was driven home to me was really kind of documenting what you're doing. So, you know, we don't all have hours and hours and hours to sit down at our wheel and finish a project or a spinning project. And usually you have to get up and leave it. And what is really helpful is you write down the details of what you're doing in the moment, to make sure that you can reproduce when you come back to your wheel. So this was a 70% merino and 30% Tussah silk there. So yeah, just some little tidbits, and I love to spin, and I'm finding I want to do more and more of it. So you may see more of my shenanigans in that realm. Because I really do enjoy sitting down at my e-spinner. I enjoy sitting down at both of my wheels. I have a Lendrum and a Louette. And I find with wheels, you love them for their own character and what they're capable of doing in and of themselves. It's like a person. All right, I think that's it for spinning. And I don't know how I am with time. It looks like I'm at half an hour, a little over. I'll show you a few acquisitions I got over the past weeks. I wasn't going to get this first acquisition because I really have a lot of books on granny squares to begin with. But the third time it came across my my radar, I decided that the universe was sending me a signal. I do like to make things out of granny squares, like little pouches. I am looking into making different different shape pouches, different bags, and that sort of thing. I think it's really, and I line them with fabric so that things don't fall through the holes in the granny squares. But this card deck came across my radar one too many times, and so I decided that was a signal and that I should purchase it. And what this is obviously there's 50 cards in here. I haven't even opened it yet. It came in the mail, and I was like, oh, okay, set that aside for the podcast, and then I didn't open what I wanted to show you here. But yeah, each of the 50 cards has the picture of the granny square on the front. Here's the classic, right? And then it also has on the back, well, it has the chart. It has the physical chart. It doesn't have the words. So yeah, you'll have to probably bone up on what's in here, the little book that came with it. I am used to using charts, so that does not daunt me at all. But if you are new to charts, this also may be a way to go, because granny squares are probably the easiest thing to learn how to crochet on. And it says here, I just saw this, coming in summer of 2025, the floral granny square card deck. Now, I didn't see this one yet, but this one's kind of cute too. All the little flowers for the granny squares. So this is kind of right up my alley, because I do like to make little pouches and bags and that sort of thing out of granny squares. And you may just see one of those here on a future episode of my podcast. The other thing I acquired was Denise DeSantis Snow Fear sock knitting. she came to the Woolly Thistle for a little visit, and actually she taught a class as well. She is a delightful person, just a warm human being. And I love everything about her. And she loves knitting socks, although she knits other things too, she said. And she did an interview on the Woolly Thistle Shopcast, the one that just came out. So do catch her there. She's a wonderful person. I watch her podcast myself. But this is, if you're very new to sock knitting, she walks you right through it. I love her short row heel. And yeah, I love everything about the woman. I actually think I fangirled her at Rhinebeck last fall. So when she came through the warehouse at the Woolly Thistle, I had to do it again because that's who I am. But anyway, yeah, she wrote a lovely book, great pictures. So yeah, she walks you right through that sock knitting hurdle if that's what you struggle with. Okay, so I think that's going to do it for me on this episode. I hope you are all keeping well, and I hope you're having good weather as we are right now. Yeah, keep stitching, and let me know in the comments what you're doing, how your summer is going. Are you looking forward to fall? Do you have fall projects that you have on the go? And I will talk to you soon. Take care now.